Good afternoon and welcome to the Saturday edition of the 1 p.m. Bulletin. Now, whether you're on the move or taking it easy this Saturday afternoon, we have the smooth mix of the day's top stories and updates coming your way. My name is Peter Kamau. Let's get started. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentist Union KMPDU continues to call on the government to come clean on the details of the proposed Ebola quarantine facility in Laikipia County, while questioning the country's level of preparedness in Ebola prevention.
We ask the government that in such decisions that pertaining to the health care of the people, it doesn't need a unilateral decision. It's something that must come through public participations, and the healthcare workers must be part of the discussions, including the public. And we ask the government to give out and to be transparent on the arrangements or these particular discussions that they've had with the US government regarding this particular agreement. And that's still what we want to call out today, that we want the government of Kenya to come out and be transparent with the people of Kenya on this particular details of this particular agreement, because it is not possible to just say that you are transparent when you're not giving the public the content that is entailed here. What has been signed? What does it mean for Kenyan citizens living in Laikipia or who will be infected?
Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni has allayed fears of Ebola in Kenya, insisting the country has put in place stringent containment measures. The PS toured the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where screening has been intensified, with Gate 16 is now designated for passengers from high-risk countries. According to the PS, all travelers are required to fill in online self-check forms to capture travel history and health status. Port Health has also enhanced genomic sequencing, collecting and testing waste samples from arriving planes to detect these disease patterns. PS Muthoni emphasized a multi-agency approach, with senior officials conducting spot checks at border points to ensure vigilance. The Border Management Committee, JKA, says it is assessing the situation hourly and issuing updates to prevent lapses. She urged Kenyans to ignore online rumors and rely on official information from the Ministry of Health.
The Ministry of Health is doing whatever possible to ensure that we contain and we are prepared. At the ports of entry, we are doing screening, and in JKIA especially, we have designated Gate 16 for flights that are coming from those countries that already have issues. We are in collaboration and in coordination with the authorities from the other countries that are affected to do exit screening from the destination country. We are going to deploy more healthcare workers to the ports of entry as from next week. So public health officers, we are also encouraging them that they will register with us so that we are able to see where we can deploy them. Ensure that you avoid unnecessary travels to those countries that are already having cases.
Residents of Nanyuki in Laikipia County are preparing for street demonstrations on Monday over the proposed U.S. Ebola quarantine facility at the Laikipia Air Base. The planned strike comes despite a High Court order temporarily halting the project, with locals insisting the center poses risks to families, livelihoods, and the county's reputation as a tourist destination. The residents accuse authorities of ignoring public consultation and say Kenya should not allow foreign influence to dictate health decisions. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department has acknowledged the legal challenge and expressed optimism that the matter will be resolved.
Far from the hotspot of the ongoing Ebola outbreak that started in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the repercussions are being felt thousands of miles away in Nanyuki, Laikipia County. News of the planned setup of an Ebola quarantine facility set to host U.S. Ebola-exposed patients has sent fear and panic among residents.
Kuna ndege zinaenda upande huo, na ni kama already hiyo quarantine imeshatengenezwa, hiyo quarantine area. Tumekasirika sana sababu Ebola haina kinga, haina dawa na ni serikali yetu ambayo imeamua kufanya mambo haya.
The residents, largely young people, argue that the proposed quarantine center would pose a risk to residents and damage Laikipia's reputation as one of Kenya's leading tourist destination due to fears associated with the dreaded Ebola disease.
Sisi tuseme kama vijana hatutaki hiyo maneno, itatuharibia kwa sababu Laikipia it is a gateway to Mount Kenya. Wazungu wote wanakuja hapo, wanafanya biashara hapo, so itatuharibia uchumi na ugonjwa utaenea.
Besides that, they decry the lack of public participation in the plan, which they say, if actualized, would affect their lives and their livelihoods directly.
Sema sisi quarantine hatuitaki kwa maana imeharibu biashara zetu already, imeshaanza kufanya watu wengine wafunge hata mahoteli zao.
We have news that the construction has already begun, something that we are not aware of and something that the public was not consulted about. And therefore, we want to be against the government and to say that we are not in any form of agreement that the facility should be set up in Laikipia or in any other part of this country.
And despite the High Court temporarily stopping the process, the residents say they will stage demonstrations on Monday.
Moja, mwezi wa 6 mwaka huu, that is on Monday. Sisi wote tutatokea na vijana tusitishwe na tusiogope, sababu haya mambo yote ni sisi yanatu affect. Na mimi ninawaambia kwamba kifo cha risasi ni bora kushinda Ebola.
They say it would be ironical for Kenya to celebrate decades of internal self-rule on one hand while bowing to foreign influence on the other.
That Kenya being a third world country and USA being a first world country, if it would not in its own measures or its own efforts contain the disease by their efforts, tell me how then a third world country like Kenya will be in a position to contain the same disease. Therefore, we want to be in agreement with every other Kenyan who is against it. You're putting the lives of Kenyans at risk.
Back in the United States, the State Department for Foreign Assistance, Humanitarian Affairs and Religious Freedom says it is aware of the court action filed in Kenya against the Ebola isolation facility and remain optimistic of a positive resolution to objections. Samira Mohammed for TV47, Nairobi.
In other news, the painful process of identifying victims of the Utumeshi Girls' dormitory fire in Gilgil is underway. Families gathered at the Naivasha Hospital mortuary on Saturday as DNA samples were collected to help confirm the identities of the 16 students who perished in the tragedy. Our reporter Willie Dennis Jiru is at the Naivasha mortuary with the latest developments. Willie Dennis.
Thank you very much. It is indeed a sad day here in Naivasha as parents, relatives and friends come to reality of what actually happened at Gilgil Girls Academy. And it was quite sad for what happened back then. And what has transpired today is that the parents have been given an opportunity to be able to come into terms with what happened, to be able to identify their kins and the processes of those bodies which cannot be positively identified by parents. Then the process of science will have to take place. Advantage to have a relative to one of the children who perished. Could you take a center stage and tell me in brief what has been going on since morning? What is the brief you have already?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, from morning we were being prepared because we were to go and watch the bodies of our kids. So some bit of counseling was done and a few instructions.
We're taking a short commercial break on TV47 at 1. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
Year's Madaraka Day celebrations, the Ministry of Education in conjunction days at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimeekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunywa maji.
Oh my God, he left me.
Nitumie ni line. Uko nje kuna Wi-Fi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tagulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
You won't entertain divas. No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
Welcome back. Now, calls for accountability are growing after the dormitory fire at Utumishi Girls in Gilgil that claimed the lives of 16 students. KUPPET National Chairman Omboko Milemba says boarding schools' regulations must be reviewed, suggesting it may be time to phase out boarding facilities altogether to prevent future disasters. Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula echoed the demand, insisting education officials responsible for enforcing safety standards should step aside, particularly those overseeing construction and inspection of schools. Meanwhile, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has taken aim at former President Uhuru Kenyatta, dismissing his recent remarks on the minimum wage as misplaced.
There is a department called Safety and Standard. Lazima itembee kila shule. Iangalie hii dormitory iko sawa. Wanafunzi wanalala hapa. Kama moto ikitokea usiku, hao wanafunzi wanaweza kuwa evacuated namna gani? Nataka Safety and Standard wote, kuanzia national officials wote wawe suspended by president by tomorrow. Bana ambia sisi maneno ya dormitory hapa na tunajua Safety and Standard wamedesign dormitory itakaa.
Unapata tumeweka wanafunzi wote kwa kitu kimoja, zaidi ya wanafunzi 2,000. Sasa moto ikitokea ama yaikosi tumeweka kwa gunia moja. Kwa hivyo Ministry of Education, I want the minister to be brave and we make a decision like other countries, kwamba tuende kwa day school. Si lazima watoto waishi shuleni jameni.
Anasimama anasema payslip ya mfanyikazi ya shilingi 20,000 haitoshi kukatwa ushuru. Nikaungana na yeye, lakini nikajiuliza, mkumbuke tulienda kwake akiwa president, tukamuuliza we want a living wage, mshahara ile inaweza kusaidia mtu. Nilipewa watu wa KOTU wote mshahara wa chini katika Kenya wakati huo. Nikamuuliza who will raise to 50,000 Kenya shillings. Hizi zinaweza kusaidia mtu.
Education stakeholders have called on the national government through the Ministry of Education to put in place strict measures aimed at curbing the increasing cases of fire incidents reported in schools across the country. The leaders noted that urgent action is needed to enhance safety standards in learning institutions and protect students from similar tragedies. Speaking while inspecting the extent of the damage caused by Thursday night's fire incident at Gasharage Girls Senior School in Kandara constituency, the stakeholders led by Muranga Deputy Governor Stephen Monania, security team and members of the school's Board of Management emphasized that the ministry must prioritize the safety and well-being of learners at all times. They further called for thorough investigations into the recurrent fire outbreaks in schools. No student was injured during the incident as the learners were attending evening preps in their classrooms when the fire broke out. However, the blaze completely destroyed the school's dormitory with a capacity of 88 beds, reducing it to ashes. Investigations are currently ongoing to establish the cause of the fire.
At this level, investigations are ongoing through the Department of Criminal Investigation, the ASONs, the Ministry of Health, the Public Works, and we are as a county to support them. We have seen what happened to Utumishi. We have seen what has happened in various other secondary schools. And as stakeholders, it's a pain if such institutions suffer in such a manner that they have suffered. So it's a conversation that at a national level, even at the grassroots level, that this should be happening so that we can ensure the safety of our children.
Up to now, we've left the investigations to the investigating bodies. We cannot rule out whether it was a student or it was electrical fault, but we are leaving that to the investigating authorities. We are not yet concluded on that, but everyone is safe. I want to tell the parents of Gacharage girls that your children are safe. They are in good conditions, and actually we have also done a psychosocial support to them.
Siaya Governor James Orengo has blamed his Homa Bay counterpart Gladys Wanga for staging an assassination attempt against him during his Meet the People tour of Homa Bay County. During the attack in Homa Bay County, two of Governor Orengo's aides were seriously injured, with one of them fighting for his life in hospital. Orengo, who spoke in Kisumu, said the attack occurred after goons throwing tear gas canisters erected huge boulders on the road before attacking his convoy. Orengo has said he will not be intimidated in speaking out against President William Ruto's regime.
This cannot go without us sending a very, very, very big warning to Governor Wanga. This is not how to play politics. In Siaya, everybody comes to Siaya. They do their politics. They even say things about us. We never stop anybody. In fact, sometimes we leave the county to live there, leave them comfortable and in peace. We should be able to access any county or any part of the country.
In other news, as Kenyans continue debating police accountability and safety, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority is pushing for stronger ties between the public and law enforcement agencies. Speaking in Kirugoya, IPOA Chief Executive Officer Elema Halake and Commissioner John Nyaga said the forum's main aim was to bridge the gap between police officers and citizens. They urged both sides to embrace coexistence, stressing its importance in maintaining law and order. The officials reaffirmed IPOA's commitment to ensuring police officers perform their duties professionally while safeguarding citizens' rights. They emphasized that community engagement remains central to building trust and accountability.
We are here to do some outreach to the citizen, and more importantly, to bridge the gap between the citizen and the police, and particularly the kind of relationship and support which is required from either party. The police cannot be able to work without the citizens. The citizen cannot also be safe and secure without the work of the police.
Tumekuja kuzungumza na washirika wetu. Mshirika mkuu ni polisi na raia, kwa sababu kazi yetu ni ku-oversight police kama wanafanya kazi yao professionally vile wanahitajika kufanya.
Experts in the financial sector are calling for improved public awareness, responsible fiscal governance, and stronger citizen involvement in tax and budget processes as Kenya debates the Finance and Appropriation Bills 2026. Speaking at a high-level forum in Nairobi, International Financial Center CEO Daniel Mainda emphasized that inclusive fiscal dialogue is critical to shaping sustainable economic growth. Stakeholders at the meeting urged Kenyans to engage more actively in fiscal policy discussions, saying transparency and participation are key to building trust and ensuring accountability in taxation and spending.
We gather today not only to discuss budget lines and fiscal allocations, but to engage in a conversation that will shape the economic future of our nation. This is precisely the kind of dialogue that must have a voice of KCA University and of course of all other universities invited today. Why this conversation matters. The Finance and Appropriation Bill is far more than legislative procedure. It is the blueprint of our national priorities.
Ladies and gentlemen, Africa today has the youngest population, 1.4 billion people, rapidly growing urban centers, rising digital penetration, and one of the fastest growing consumer markets annually. By 2050, 1 in 4 people on this earth will be African. Think about that carefully.
Grief and despair have engulfed residents of Gishonjoine village in Gishogo, Kirinyaga County, after a fire razed down a 2-bedroom house, leaving a family homeless and without any of their belongings. The family is now calling for support as they begin the process of rebuilding their lives. Our reporter Sally Davida has more.
The fire broke out in the afternoon, engulfing the 2-bedroom house belonging to Nicholas Murimi, boda operator, while his wife and 2 children were not at home. But despite the efforts by the neighbors to put out the blaze, the fire spread rapidly and destroyed everything in the house. Nicholas Murimi says the family managed to escape unharmed, but lost all their property in the fire and were left only with the clothes they were wearing at the time of the incident.
Nilikuwa nimefika mwisho, juu yenyewe hakuna kitu nilikuwa nayo. Na hata saa hii hakuna chenye niko nayo, juu hata kitu kama nguo ni watu kunisaidia nazo.
He says they have since been relying on the support of the well-wishers to meet basic needs as they wait to rebuild their lives following the devastating loss. Former Kirinyaga women representative Wongoi Ngirishi visited the family, joining residents in assisting them to begin reconstruction of their burnt home and providing basic support to the family.
Nataka niseme kwamba nitasimama na wenyeji, familia yake na watu wao ndio tuweze kumjengea nyumba nyingine, kwa sababu tukiachilia kijana ambaye anaonekana ni barubaru, kijana mdogo ambaye alikuwa amejitahidi, tukimwachilia hivyo anaweza pata hata issues na mental health.
Girishi at the same time criticized the county government over delayed response to the fire incident. Residents have also urged the county government to strengthen fire and disaster response teams to prevent similar losses in the future.
Na wenye wamechaguliwa area hii tumejaribu kupiga simu, tumeblokiwa na wako mpaka karibu na sisi, na huyu kijana hajapata usaidizi wowote.
Napenda niseme kwamba it is important kwamba county iko emergency prepared.
Sally Davida, TV47.
Welcome to the lighter side of news. The 2026 Rhino Charge is underway at Ngilai Community Conservancy in Samburu East, and it is bringing together competitors, conservationists and supporters from across the country in a unique off-road motoring event aimed at raising funds for environmental conservation. The annual event, that is known for its challenging terrain and tough navigation conditions, has attracted 65 teams that are competing to complete the course while raising funds to support the protection of Kenya's water towers and other critical ecosystems. The event is also expected to boost local economic activities in Samburu through tourism and business opportunities for residents.
Samburu basically tick all the boxes in terms of welcome, beauty of the environment, tough terrain. It's actually one of the best places actually to organize such an event. This is actually the 7th time that the Rhino Charge is taking place in Samburu County. We have been hosting it twice together with His Excellency, the Governor. 3 years ago, we were in Kotea, just on the other side of the county. That was also a very beautiful charge. As you can see, the scenery here is quite extraordinary, totally suited for this kind of event.
4 years ago, this is the second one that we're doing in Samburu. It's very important for us as a community. It's very important for tourism. It's very important for us as a county to promote the tourism of Samburu County. We have so many people coming here today. The whole world is watching, and we are very proud of this event happening in Samburu.
And still on 2026 Rhino Charge action, we now join our sports presenter Tony Kwalanda, who is in Wamba, Samburu County, with the very latest. Tony Kwalanda.
The 2026 Rhino Charge is currently underway in Wamba, Samburu County. And I'm at one of the checkpoints, and I'm looking behind there. You can see there's a car at a distance there. That is one of the competitors, one of the 65 competitors in this competition, trying to make their way to this particular checkpoint, which is known as Tire World. Remember, this competition is participated with one objective: to raise funds for conservative or conservation efforts or projects across the country, and also for the protection of water towers, for example, Mount Kenya, and as well as Mount Elgon, and also other Aberdare water towers in the country. So remember, this competition gives an opportunity to drivers to ensure they go through 13 checkpoints across different locations here in Wamba. And the driver who completes the 13 checkpoints in the shortest distance possible is the one who will emerge victorious. Remember, Team Huzi are the holders of this particular competition. Tony Kwalanda, TV47, Wamba, Samburu County.
Thank you, Tony Kwalanda, for that. Now, the Kenya national men's volleyball team, popularly known as the Wafalme Stars, was officially flagged off ahead of the upcoming CAF B Zone V African Nations volleyball qualifiers during a colorful ceremony held at the iconic Nyayo National Stadium. The event, which brought together sport officials, volleyball stakeholders, players, coaches and supporters, marked a significant moment for Kenyan volleyball as the national team prepares to fly the country's flag at the highly anticipated regional championship set to take place in Kampala, Uganda, from May 31st to June 6, 2026. The team is expected to depart for Kampala on Sunday ahead of the week-long regional tournament that will bring together some of the strongest volleyball nations from East and Central Africa.
In Africa. As far as Anna SD, this team last outing was All African Games, and they finished in Zone 5. They qualified to the final round. And men and women. Now let me... Thank you very much, Deputy President. Our other guest, Wafalme, live is on! Once more, Wafalme, live is on!
That's all we had for you, prepared for you this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Africa Express, all things Rumba, is up next. My name is Peter Kamau. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.